Good Friday morning, 8 o'clock on this February 7th. Thanks so much for joining us here on ARC Rochester. I'm Stephanie Joseph.
And I'm Dan Schrack. It is an understatement to say that we have a jam-packed show for you today. Because the next 2 hours, Steph, well, you know, you've seen the rundown.
Very filled.
They are very filled. We need to really dive right in right away because no time to lose.
At all.
No.
All right, so let's start out with the forecast and what we can expect as we get ready to head into the weekend.
What?
Meteorologist Marty Snyder standing by for us with a check of the weather. Hey, Marty.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Yeah, we're going to see at least a little bit of sunshine try to work in. That's the good news. Might as well start off seeing some of that. You can see at least some of the sun trying to sneak in there. Still some cloud covered. Still there will be a few snow showers up along the lakeshore, but a lot of the activity that has been out there has diminished pretty well. You can see that one last band that's diminished across the area. Still a few snow showers here and there, but you get that main idea. A lot of this activity beginning to wind down. Still could see a couple new snow showers form up along the lakeshore, east into Wayne County along the 104 corridor. Those areas could see that snow continue just on and off today, but otherwise most areas see quite a few clouds with some of those limited breaks of sun at times. Temperatures today mostly in the 20s for a lot of the day, and at least a little bit of an area-wide snow as we head into the weekend. Could see a few inches of snow out of that, so we'll be watching Saturday night into early Sunday for that. But otherwise today, a little bit of sunshine tries to work in through quite a few clouds.
Listen, we need those couple of breaks out there, my friend. We need them.
It will be nice. I wish I could get some of that sunshine on my driveway because it's like an iceberg out there right now, and it's not going to melt anytime soon.
Well, you got 2 kids at home. I'd say here are the shovels.
That's right.
Learn how to use them.
Start chopping that ice.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. So during the month of February, 13 Wham is celebrating Black History Month.
Every day we're highlighting a local fact or Black-owned business.
We certainly are. Today's fact is the Maxwell Settlement, a 60-acre Black community west of Sodas Point, was originally home to people formerly enslaved and those seeking freedom.
Now be sure to keep up with our Black History highlights on our website, 13wham.com. I always love this open. It's a good one. Well, we're dishing it out now this morning because Super Bowl Sunday is just days away. And for some fans, barbecue, that's what's going to be on the table.
Yeah, Chris Lopez thought it would be a great opportunity to highlight a local barbecue spot in case you want to grab some ribs to eat. He's live this morning at Texas BBQ Joint in Spencerport, getting a crash course in the art of barbecue and smoking and all things meat related. Chris?
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, so if you are looking to, if you guys are looking to get catering from Texas BBQ Joint, make sure you place your orders before or at 6 o'clock tomorrow to have them ready by Super Bowl Sunday, and you can get a little bit of pork here, and we're going to be diving into the process. I have Joel, executive chef, with me this morning, and this one's simple. This one's simple but very effective. What are we looking at? Brown sugar?
Yeah, so that's it, just brown sugar. You know, one of the main ideas behind Texas-style barbecue is let the meat do the talking. You don't want a lot of sauce or like other flavors other than really the meat. You can have some hints of stuff, and you want some added flavor, but really it's all about the meat. It's all about having the meat stand out.
It's like a Wagyu steak almost, or a Wagyu steak almost. You're not really trying to put too much on there. Salt, pepper, that's
very
it.
Basic seasoning. That's why, as you saw, our rubs are like very simple. We keep it simple, nothing too fancy. Because really it's all about the meat. It's all about the meat.
And then you guys attain that here. So this is that finished product here. This is a typical lunch someone would come in here and pretty much eat. You have the mac and cheese, coleslaw, and then some biscuits over here.
Let me serve you up here a little pulled pork sandwich.
And we're gonna get into how you attain this. You guys tell me that I'm not gonna have too much grizzly fat pieces, which some people get when they have some of these pulled pork sandwiches.
Yep. So we do. After it's on the smoker, we take it off and we pull all the fat, all the grizzle. We go through, we pull it all out by hand. I'm gonna try. Go ahead and give that a go.
I gotta try this. Look at this. breakfast served, ladies and gentlemen. That is awesome. Like you said, let the meat do the talking.
Yep. It's really all about the meat.
The sauce is great. I tried the sauce earlier. It's great, but that is really good right there. And you guys attain that. No fat pieces. I didn't get any grizzly pieces there. And that's attained pretty much through this.
Yeah, so we pull everything by hand. As you can see, when the pork comes out of the smoker, there's a lot of fat juice in there. So we strain all the juices off, and then we go through and we try and pull out all the grizzle, pull out everything that isn't really desired, you know? So you're left with just like the good, lean meat.
And then I'm going to go over here. I'm going to help you out. We're going to take this over here, the pork,
Thank you.
heading over to the smoker now, putting it in. Roughly, how long does it take to smoke the pork?
So the pork is the longest process. The pork takes about 14 hours. We're gonna put the pork on usually at 4 p.m. and then it comes off around 6 in the morning. So it's a long process.
Are there any cuts that are harder to smoke or a little bit more difficult technique-wise? You have the chicken, you have the ribs, and then you have the pork. Is there anything that you're going to look out for more than another?
Usually the pork and the brisket are pretty set it and forget it.
Okay.
The ribs do take a little more attention because they only take 4 hours, 3 hours. So you got to pay attention to them. You don't want them overcooked. You don't want them dried out. You want to really just pull them off as soon as you start seeing that bone come out of the meat.
Any tips for someone at home who's doing this?
Make sure your temps are right. You really want to make sure the temps are correct, because if the temps are not correct, then it's not gonna it's not gonna fall off the bone, really.
Nice and hot. I'm gonna let you pulling out the chicken right now.
Some of this chicken.
We're gonna have some of this in the next hit. Now the potato here, I'm told the potato is absolutely phenomenal. So in the 8:30 hit here on Arc Rochester, we're gonna be getting into the chicken wings that he's gonna fry, and then some of the potato. Like I said, I didn't have any dinner last night, all in anticipation for this. Joel's been doing a great job. I'm gonna send it back to you guys in studio. I'm taking orders, but I couldn't hear you guys last time, right? My
that
IFB was
so?
just cracking out. I don't know. Do you guys have orders?
I would like to try a piece of that cornbread.
I'll
Oh
take
man,
the
still
potato.
once again the IFB is what are we doing here,
need to
man?
get
The
that
IFB is
fixed.
cracking out.
Listen, Chris
We
says
gotta
he
get it
didn't have
fixed.
dinner last night. He had Fritos,
Shame.
Cheese Whiz, and lemon heads, ladies and gentlemen. Those are his go-tos.
I've heard that too, so.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
Hey, stick around. We have a lot more to get to here on Arc Rochester, including when we come back, we're learning more about the important reason why you should wear red today.
Hey, and don't forget, if you're headed for the door, take us with you. We're streaming live right now on the 13 Wham YouTube channel. Arc Rochester returns right after the break. 8:11 this morning. Thanks so much for sticking with us here on ARC. If you haven't noticed by now, we are wearing some red here today. That's because today is National Wear Red Day to raise awareness and education around women's heart health.
Yeah, it's part of the American Heart Association's American Heart Month celebration. And this morning we are joined by Dr. Scott Feitel and Kelly Quinn to tell us more about why raising awareness for heart disease is so important. Good morning to the both of you.
Good morning.
So we kind of spoke about it a bit before, but Wear Red Day, why is it important?
Because, you know, heart disease is the #1 killer for women. Stroke is the #3. It's something that, you know, if we're not impacted by ourselves, we're going to have a mother, a sister, a friend, a coworker, somebody that's going to be impacted by it. So wearing red today is just to share and show awareness for such an important cause.
It is really important. Doc, I want you to weigh in here. For somebody sitting at home, what are some signs and symptoms that women need to be aware of? We know that with things like heart attack, sometimes those symptoms kind of get, you know, put the same way they show up in men. Mm-hmm.
100% right. I think one of the important things about raising awareness and wearing red is to highlight that women don't experience the same symptoms as men do all the time. It's not uncommon for women, you know, everybody thinks of a heart attack as an elephant sitting on your chest or incredible amounts of pain. Not everyone has a heart attack that way. If you're diabetic, you may not feel much pain at all, or it may be very atypical. Sometimes there's some shortness of breath, sometimes nausea or vomiting. There's lots of signs and symptoms that women may experience that may be slightly different or perceived differently. And so it's really important. I always tell patients it's always a judgment call on when you go to the ER, when do you call a physician. But ultimately, if it feels different to you, if something doesn't feel right, always err on the side of caution and seek medical attention. Time is heart muscle, time is brain. So if you miss a symptom or you ignore it, something catastrophic can happen.
And have you noticed over time that there are some moments when a patient may have that symptom and just not think anything of it, especially recently?
Yeah, all the time, sadly. To this day, even just a couple weeks ago when I was rounding on the consult service, you know, we'll get called down to the ER and someone had a heart attack, but they had the heart attack 2 weeks ago. And when you dig a little deeper and ask, it was very clear, you know, unfortunately with medical training, to hear that story and say, okay, something happened 2 weeks ago. Obviously, we do our best to salvage and recover, but it would be much better when patients feel something abnormal, not to say, oh, well, I got to, you know, deal with this issue, or I got to wait to watch the Bills game or something of that nature. It's let's get to the ER and not put it off.
And Kelly, it's important that we have this day to call attention to it, but today is not the only day we want to be calling attention to this, correct?
Correct. Yep. It's something that should be in the forefront of our mind every single day. And as Dr. Feitel said, you know, you are your advocate for your health. If something feels off, you need to seek medical attention because time is, you know, time is your life.
That is for sure. And there are multiple different contributing factors. There could be a stroke, for example, that could contribute towards this. What would sort of be your advice out there for anyone who may have some concerns or maybe history in their family who wants to sort of take the right steps to be proactive about this?
Sure. Yeah, so in women's health in particular, a lot of women, and actually the population in general, don't realize things like preeclampsia, gestational diabetes, complications during pregnancy can increase risk of cardiovascular health or cardiovascular outcomes later on in life. Age of your first period, age of menopause, all play contributing roles. Certainly family history, smoking, diabetes, the usual risk factors that we think about. But a lot of women don't realize that there are things specific to being a woman that actually may enhance or worsen risk factors later in life. Being as proactive as you can, talking to your primary care doctor, asking to see a cardiologist. You know, if you don't feel as though it's being addressed appropriately, go to a cardiologist and get risk stratified and see if you need to be on a statin, if there are other preventative measures we can take to improve outcomes.
Now, when you talk about heart health, it often kind of, you get a little tense, get a little nervous. And for a lot of people out there, they much rather not know and just deal with it on the back end than take action. Talk to us about the importance of taking that action, of regular checkups, of regular visits with your PC.
Sure. You know, ignorance is not bliss, you know, and when it comes to your heart, you only have one heart and it's got to last you your whole life. And so, you know, if it comes down to taking a simple pill, maybe, you know, once a day in the morning, if it comes down to getting that extra 5 minutes of walking in every night, if there's simple, if it takes that, you know, that extra doctor yelling at you to quit smoking one more time, all those things are pay dividends for years to come. And so it's really important to not ignore those things. We all think when we're younger we're invincible, and I still in my mind think that way too, but the reality of it is that just some simple measures and a few minutes a year, whether it's checking with your primary care doctor, taking that medicine, going for that extra walk, can really keep you alive and healthy well into your 70s, 80s, and 90s and beyond.
Good advice. Kelly, for somebody sitting at home who wants to learn more about the day or just wants to brush up on heart health all around, where can they go? I'm sure you guys have resources online.
Yeah, absolutely. Visit the American Heart Association website, and there's plenty of resources out there specifically about the Go Red movement, but also just on heart health and ways you can get involved in the community.
Terrific.
All right.
Thank you both so much for your time this morning. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. And we'll post all of this information and much more on our website after the show this morning, foxrochester.com.
Don't go anywhere. We've got so much more to get to, including when we come back, we're going behind the story.
We're back on the other side of the break.
Welcome back. We're going behind the story here on ARC Rochester, bringing you the latest information on some of the top headlines we're following this morning.
We certainly are, and we want to turn to our continuing coverage of President Donald Trump's executive order targeting immigration that fulfill his campaign promise of mass deportation.
And for more, we are joined by the Finger Lakes manager at New York Immigration Coalition, Cassandra Bocanegra, and the director of migrant services at Ibero American Action League, that's Daisy Ruiz-Marin. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having us.
So just to have a quick overview of the New York Immigration Coalition, but also Ibero, if you could each just tell us what you guys do.
Yeah, it's the organization made up of over 200 organizations throughout New York State that work to improve the lives of all New Yorkers, including immigrant New Yorkers.
Ibero American Action League, we're a local nonprofit organization. My specific role, I'm the director for the Migrant Services Department, so I am overseeing the Migrant Relocation Assistance Program in New York, in Monroe County.
Yeah. And speaking of, we know back in August 2023, we had a few asylum seekers come into Monroe County and are obviously transitioning now into a new stage with the Migrant Relocation Assistance Program. Could you give us an overview and also how things are going right now?
Yeah, of course. So right now we have relocated over 141 families. Our goal is to relocate 200 families in total. We have families that have already completed the 12 months and have reached self-sufficiency, and they're doing great on their own. Right now we're working towards making sure that the rest of our families are reaching self-sufficiency and completing the 12 months of the program.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I wanted to dive into the President Trump's executive order. We know on his first day in office, he signed a flurry of executive actions. some targeting the immigrant community, and again, border security. Those, though, will directly impact many of your clientele, correct?
So all our families that have entered into the MRAP program means that they already have completed some sort of immigration relief. So the majority of our families have applied for asylum.
But is there a fear still that further action could be taken?
So at this time, really what we're focusing on is making sure that we're educating our families on their rights and that they continue to receive the resources that they need.
And I want to touch on something, that fear that Dan was mentioning. We've spoken to people in our own, with everyone going through their different statuses to get legal immigration statuses here, that they feel empowered. What sort of resources do you help with?
So we have completed Know Your Rights training for our families. We make sure that they know their rights. Everyone that is in the MRAP program currently has a legal status while they're awaiting their hearings.
And I think the biggest thing to remember about these executive orders is that they are meant to sow fear and chaos into our communities, not just the immigrant community, but the community at large within across the nation. And as Daisy was saying, know your rights is really important. Being prepared, being knowledgeable about your own risk, being aware of what your Fourth and Fifth Amendment rights are when it comes to any kind of immigration enforcement, and then also what to do if something like that happens. What is your plan B? Is your family, do you have your documentations in order for if something does happen to one person within the family, like a family preparedness documents? Family preparedness clinics have been happening across the state with many different local nonprofits. But again, like, the aim was to create fear and instability and chaos within the community. And we've been hearing not just from immigrant communities, but also from communities at large, fearing for their neighbors, fearing for their students, fearing for their patients about what would happen to them.
Now, we know Rochester is a sanctuary city, so local law enforcement won't take part in any of the deportations that you could potentially see in a sanctuary city. But there's got to be, I'm sure, concern over a loss of some sort of resources because a pause on federal funding for sanctuary cities.
So the Attorney General our Attorney General, as well as many other Attorney Generals across the nation, have been fighting a lot of the executive orders that have been coming out because you're right, it was a flurry. So we have to make sure that our rights as American citizens and as American people are protected as a whole. So our Attorney Generals have been doing a lot of that work, and it is a waiting and seeing kind of game to see what is happening. Our local organizations, though, some of them have a mixed bag of funding, so there is kind of, again, a wait and see, and where funding is going to need some support in order for us to be able to continue our work, which is ensuring that our communities are knowledgeable and safe and aware of what their rights are.
Really, one day at a time, then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And did you have anything to add, Daisy? I don't know if you were just nodding along. One other thing I wanted to touch on was temporary protected status. We had seen that there was another order or issue from the DHS or USCIS, to be more specific, that had targeted specifically Venezuelans. Does that happen to affect any of your clientele?
So the majority of our clientele have applied for asylum. So even though TPS will be ending for them, they do still have the asylum application.
Okay. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, for somebody sitting at home who may be concerned about a family member, a loved one, a friend, are there online resources that the two of you could send them to today so they can begin to figure this out on their own?
Yes. So my organization, the New York Immigration Coalition, does have a website, nyic.org/KYR, Know Your Rights, and we have a flurry of information there. We have Know Your Rights wallet cards that are in a variety of languages that really help support your rights. We have some resources that get updated as often as needed, with updates on different changes in the law, different changes at state and federal situations, as well as ways to navigate some of these more complicated topics. And they are available in a variety of languages. If the language that you're looking for is not on the website, you can also reach out to kyr@nyic.org for more support. But we are trying to make it as accessible and as easy to reach for everyone, including those that speak English, those that don't speak English, and everyone in between. Because we know that, as you know, the more you know, the more powerful you are.
And I use her resources. So.
Yeah.
Terrific.
Thank you both so much for coming in. Really appreciate it this morning. And we will have all of this on our website, foxrochester.com. And hey, stick around here. We have much more to get to this morning.
Yeah, our Rochester is back right after this. Good Friday morning. Thanks so much for sticking with us here on ARC Rochester. I'm Dan Schrack.
And I'm Stephanie Joseph. We've got a lot to come this morning, but we do want to kick this half hour off by talking to you and taking you behind the story once again to discuss a top news headline that we are following closely.
Certainly do. We want to continue our coverage right now after a recent executive order from President Trump banning transgender women from taking part in women's sports.
Yeah, it's sparking a nationwide conversation on transgender rights, and even here at home, local lawmakers and representatives are responding to this order.
They certainly are. This morning, we're joined by Assemblymember Harry Bronson to talk more about that order. Thank you so much for waking up with us this morning. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you for having me today.
So let me ask right out of the gate, what was your initial reaction when you heard the president was signing this executive order earlier this week?
Another attempt at hate, just like his desire no longer to have diversity, equity, and inclusion in all aspects of what we do in government and in the private sector. Look, the framers of the Constitution did not want another king named a president. So they created checks and balances and giving the legislature the ability to check the president. These separation of powers are vitally important, and the Trump administration is trying to violate them with all of these executive orders that have come out. And the legislature, Republicans in particular, have not responded accordingly. Regarding this executive order, it amounts to discrimination. It's unclear, it's vague, it's filled with, at best, misunderstanding of gender, and at worst, it's filled with hate. So the executive order talks about defending women from gender ideology. Well, what does that mean? And then it talks about restoring biological truth. Well, what happens if you're an intersex individual born that way? So it's confusing, and everyone, and we need to make sure that our children are safe. But this executive order is just filled with misinformation and hate.
And speaking of that hate, I'm going to ask our producer to cue up a soundbite from some of the representatives in a House Oversight Committee meeting that happened earlier this week. Representative Nancy Mace has been pretty outspoken on her stance on transgender individuals. Have a listen to what she had to say, and I'd like your reaction to this.
Mr. Chairman, parliamentary inquiry.
Yes, sir.
The gentlelady has used a phrase that is considered a slur in the LGBTQ community and the transgender community. And let me please finish without interruption. And
Tranny, tranny, tranny. I don't really care. You want penises in women's bathrooms, and I'm not going to have it.
Okay.
No, thank you.
Let
It's
Chairman,
disgusting.
What is your reaction when you hear something like that from someone who is supposed to be representing individuals, of South Carolina?
So when someone desires to discriminate against another person, and when someone desires to spew hate, they do name calling. That comes like, she sounds like a sixth grader and not an adult representing all people. That's the key here. We as representatives, we have to represent everyone, and treat them with equity and justice. And those kind of statements is just, it's hurtful. She's doing exactly what we try to teach our young people not to do. She's using language in a harassing kind of way, in a bullying kind of way. It's inappropriate, but unfortunately, under this Trump administration, people have been giving the permission to spew that kind of hate.
And we know that the NCAA has actually responded to the executive order and making changes, but specifically when it comes to women's sports and the exclusion of anyone who may identify as a transgender woman in that space, are you concerned at all that with the definition of these distinct spaces for women and men, that there will no longer be spaces for transgender individuals?
Well, let's put this in context. The NCAA also gave the statistics, and I believe the numbers were 510,000 college athletes currently, with less than 10 identifying as trans. So, the numbers don't justify the amount of attention that this is all getting. But that being said, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure trans are treated with respect and dignity, with opportunity, and I believe they should be in sports, and we should follow this through. Look, the Trump administration has directed the Department of Education to do this, a department that he thinks should be disbanded. He doesn't even have faith in them, yet he's saying, go and investigate, and if trans people are in sports, then we're going to defund them from federal funding. It's so inconsistent. The other thing is right now, for the most part, for lower grades, it's up to the states to decide. This is a man who says it's all about states' rights, yet now he's saying, no, not so much when I want to spew hate against trans and non-binary individuals.
Assembly member, we're running low on time, but I do want to dive back into what's happening right here in New York State. New York, there are a lot of protections. There's the Trans Safe Haven Act, which I believe you were a sponsor of. What protections?
Sure. So the Trans Safe Haven Act is one that I sponsored. I took the lead on that along with Senator Brad Hoylman. We also have what we're calling the SHIELD Act 2.0, which is to even increase those protections, which we're hoping to get through this year. The Attorney General's executive orders that we have state laws that prevent discrimination against our New Yorkers, including our trans and non-binary New Yorkers. So we have some protections in place. We're going to continue to look to make sure here in New York, we're not going to promote hate. We are going to promote the idea that everyone deserves equity and everyone deserves justice. So we're going to keep fighting for that here in New York because we're a state that believes everyone has equality.
Assemblymember Harry Bronson, thank you so much for your time this Friday morning. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Hey, don't go anywhere. We have more to get to here on Arc Rochester, including when we come back, we're checking back in with Chris Lopez, who's at the barbecue this morning.
He certainly is. And don't forget, you can take us on the go wherever you are. We're streaming live right now on the 13 Wham YouTube channel. Look at that.
Nice.
Open there. Gotta love it. Thank you, Brian Swerda. Hey, don't go anywhere. Arc Rochester is streaming right now, and we're back after the break.
Well, the Super Bowl, it's this Sunday, and many fans, they're going to be serving up some barbecue to feed their friends and family.
Going long for some baby back ribs,
Yeah.
right? Yes, Chris Lopez wanted to check out a local barbecue spot to see how they're getting ready for Sunday. Chris Lopez, you have been working up an appetite all morning. You skipped dinner, you said, so that you could have a killer breakfast there this morning.
Been eating throughout the morning, guys. It's perks of the job, right? And we've been going through the different meats, the brisket, the pork, you name it. Now we are on to what they are famous for. Now, this is a loaded potato. It does include some of the meat in there, but you also got some different things in here that I'm going to be building with Joel, who has been showing me around here. He's his executive chef here. I'll be talking to Dan, who is also the other Dan in here, the GM here at Texas BBQ Joint. Never tried this at all, so I'm very much looking forward to this, Joel. So we got to build this thing.
Yes, sir.
Where should I start here? We got the potato
so we
here.
start with the potato, and we get rid of that. We don't want that.
We don't want none of this.
And then you just kind of push it together on the sides like this, so it splits down the middle. Push it.
Oh, okay,
yep,
okay.
long ways like that.
Okay,
there you go.
gotcha.
So it breaks open. And now
Look at that.
we're gonna go with a scoop of butter. You know, gotta love that
Gotta
butter.
get the fats in there.
Oh yeah, that's what it's all about. You just load it up with fat. There you go. And then just a big mountain of cheese. Just grab as much cheese as you want and you just throw it
Really?
out there. Oh yeah. There you go. That's how we yep, absolutely.
All right.
Just go for it. Just grab as much cheese as you want. That's a light cheese right there.
It's a light cheese. All right. Okay.
So after that, you know, let's go with a little sour cream. You know, there you
A
go.
little dollop of sour cream
Just a
in
little
there.
dollop. We don't need too much of that.
Boom.
Beautiful.
Boom.
Let's go with a little bit of bacon.
This is really loaded.
Oh, it's loaded.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this is loaded.
And this is a heavy hitter here, Dan. A lot of people
It is.
gravitate towards this.
It is. This probably represents about 60% of our orders. Yeah, the Outlaw. It's,
Okay.
it is our most sold item for sure.
So now we're
Yeah.
going to move on to the meat. A lot of times, you just pick the meats you want. If you want, you could do more meats. You could do all the meats. I'm going to go with the pulled pork, obviously, the standout star.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the pulled pork too.
There we go.
That was great.
There's that. Beautiful.
All right.
And then obviously, hold on, we're not done. A little more cheese. Just a little more
What are we
cheese.
doing?
It's loaded. It's an outlaw.
Right now. All right. More cheese.
It's an outlaw. There you go. And then, let's go with a sprinkle of chives. There you go. Some little chives on there.
Yeah, I'll take some chives.
There you go.
Okay. Do I try this now?
There you go.
I
Dig
just-
in. Dig in.
Where do I start? I have no. Okay. I just eat any. I don't know where. Okay.
Wherever it gets messy. The more you eat, the messier it gets.
Look at that. I gotta get some of this. We gotta get. I have no potato in here. We gotta get some potato. There we go. That is amazing right there. Wow. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. I love the sour cream. I didn't think I'd like the sour. I'm not a fan of sour cream.
Oh, no?
That was good.
It's a nice touch.
That was good stuff.
It is.
And then I'm gonna quickly. We're running short on time, but this is the alternative right
Yes.
here.
Yep.
These are the bowls.
Yes.
And we're essentially gonna do the exact same thing, just with a bowl here.
Yep. So
okay.
essentially the process is exactly the same, whatever you want on top, a little cheese, let's have mac and cheese with more cheese.
Do I have to do it in that order?
Well, that's how we do it.
Oh, okay.
But you can do it however you want. You can do whatever you
Boom.
want.
We'll throw that. We'll get some butter here. Drop that in. We'll go cheese because we have to on mac and cheese.
Yeah, it's not mac and cheese without cheese.
And then we'll go. What's this?
Those are chives.
A little bit of chives in here. Look at that. And then we'll top it off with some pulled pork.
Perfect.
And then I lied. We're gonna top it off with some bacon here. My job was to make. Oh yeah, I can't forget the sour cream in there. Just a tad bit, just a little bit. I'm gonna try this. Dan, I'm gonna bring you back in here. Someone wants to come in here. What are your hours? How can they find out more about you guys? Catering, all of that.
Right. If you want to do catering, the owner's the best in the business, bbqrochester.com. He'll take care of you. 30 seconds, you fill out a lead form. He'll get right back to you and take care of all your catering needs. As far as the restaurant and locations, our drive-through is 11 to 7, 7 days a week in Greece. And here in restaurant, we're open to 8 o'clock at night. Weekdays, Friday and Saturday nights till 9, and we'd love to see you come check it out and, experience some variation of this here. Some variation.
Back to you guys in studio. I hope I made you hungry. I'm gonna finish this here. I'm bringing back nothing. You already know my style. Back to you guys in
your
studio.
your style looks like you're eating from a trough there, my friend.
Teasing us too. Just take them
And
away.
I gotta
Take 'em
tell
away.
you, the level of disappointment when you put the dollop of sour cream on that mashed potato and it missed the mashed potato,
Yeah, the
or on the
center.
potato.
Oh man,
Yeah,
sometimes
Stephanie.
you shoot and then you miss. What are
Stephanie
you gonna
was
do?
so disappointed.
What are you gonna do?
So disappointed. Try harder. That's what you do. Thank you, Chris.
Hey, don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're getting ready for this weekend's big game. That's Super Bowl 59.
Yeah, a live report from New Orleans after this. 8:48, the countdown to Super Bowl 59 continues. Right now, tens of thousands of excited fans are arriving in New Orleans ahead of Sunday.
Yeah, and Megan Gilliland from our sister station is live there now with the events about to get underway. Megan, can you feel the excitement?
Oh my goodness, you can't not feel it. We are here live in the convention center. This is the Super Bowl experience here. The fans are allowed in this afternoon, but our goal is to save you a trip. Give you a sneak peek, starting over here, guys, with the Game Day Center. That is where you get a chance to see if you can be a sports anchor. Then over here, back corner, we've got the guys from Wilson teaching you how these are actually made, how they're laced up. You can run through some of these drills and obviously have a chance to see some celebrities right there walking down the red carpet here. Stephen A. Smith here getting ready to do some live interviews. We saw Drew Brees just a little while ago, and guys, is what is drawing the fans in this morning. And when you take a look at this video of their faces, you can see how exciting this is for them as they're making their way through the building here. Many of them walking through the shrines of some of the greats, some of their favorites, and obviously getting the chance to take a picture of the Lombardi Trophy, which, by the way, is here in the convention center. And then you also have a chance to kick a field goal if you dare. Take a look at this.
I'm pretty disappointed in myself that I mixed the field goal. So, you know, game's on the line right now, I'm missing, but hopefully one of those guys can step up.
How about you? What did you think?
It was really fun.
Was it harder than you thought?
Yes, ma'am.
I kind of slipped.
Yeah, it's harder than it looks. What do you think, buddy?
It was hard.
It was hard? Yeah.
So what are you looking forward to doing
So everything. We're just going to try to hit it all up, see some players, just take our time, and just glad to be here.
My turn. See the field goal? Here we go. This is the fan experience here, guys. If you are looking for the real Super Bowl experience, laces out, right? Get this set up just right. Cheapest ticket as of this morning, $2,500. Yeah, add in fees. We're looking at about $3,000 here, guys. Most expensive ticket, $36,000. So I think I'm going to stick with this fan experience here, and got it. Live from the convention center, I'm Megan Gillen. Back to you.
I'm gonna need some video evidence, Megan.
It looked great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Enjoy Sunday. Hey, don't go anywhere because we've still got a lot more to get to. We are back after this.
Good Friday morning. I'm Christian Garzone. Thank you for tuning in. Here is your ARC Rochester news break. Rochester police are searching for suspects after a late-night shooting in the city's Beechwood neighborhood. Investigators say a 38-year-old man was shot around 10 last night on Cedarwood Terrace near Fraser Street. He was taken to the hospital by a private vehicle and is now listed in stable condition. At this hour, no suspects are in custody. If you have any information, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers at 423-9300. This morning, one child is dead and two others are from home on Vine Street just before 1 o'clock yesterday morning. Authorities say 3 children, ages 4, 10, and 12, were the only ones inside when the fire broke out. All 3 were taken to Strong Hospital, where the 10-year-old later died from his injuries. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. New pressure this morning from New York teachers pushing for changes to the state's retirement system. As part of a statewide campaign, members of New York State United Teachers are calling out inequities in the Tier 6 retirement plan. According to the state comptroller, employees in Tiers 5 and 6 of the state retirement system joined on or after January 1st, 2010 and April 1st, 2012, respectively. Andrew Jordan, co-president of a NYSUT local, says as a Tier 4 member, he can retire at age 55 with a full pension. But some of his colleagues who are Tiers 5 and 6 not only have to wait longer, but also have to pay more and retire with less.
I should not earn more in my pension than my colleague doing the same job, working as hard as I do every day for 30 years. It's not fair. It's not equitable. It should be equal. It's harming individuals. It's harming colleagues. It's harming my friends and fellow teachers who want to commit to kids in their communities for a career and are realizing now that they can't.
A spokesperson for Governor Hochul noted key reforms with the 2025 state budget. With regards to the way pension 13 WAM, the governor remains committed to working to ensure every New Yorker receives the benefits they need and deserve. This morning, Governor Kathy Hochul is pushing for major criminal justice reforms, focusing on closing loopholes in the state's discovery laws. Discovery reform was passed in 2019 alongside bail reform, but Hochul says the current system has led to repeat offenders avoiding accountability.
But those changes went too far, and legitimate cases are being dismissed on technicalities.
Include giving prosecutors the ability to certify subpoenas once all relevant materials have been disclosed, as well as expanding automatic redactions to protect witnesses' sensitive information. But criminal justice advocates argue the data tells a different story. Outside of New York City, they say there has been no significant rise or decline in case dismissals, questioning whether these reforms are really necessary.
I think we're taking a landslide backwards. We have to say we're going to create the legislation and then ensure that people are educated about the legislation and how to use it so that it is effective and that we're not playing the blame game about things like bail reform and discovery rules.
That would require police departments to provide DAs with access to their electronic records for discovery purposes. For all of these stories and any new developments, visit our website at 13wham.com. Stick around. ARC Rochester will return right after this. Stay tuned.
Good Friday morning, 9 o'clock on February 7th. Thanks so much for sticking with us here on ARC Rochester. I'm Stephanie Joseph.
And I'm Dan Schrack. We still have a packed hour left right here on ARC Rochester. So we're going to start things out. We're talking about the forecast this morning, as well as that ongoing rock salt shortage.
Yeah, so we are joined now by both meteorologist Marty Snyder and our own Christian Garzone for more on the weather and also that shortage. So let's, of course, start out with the weather. It's cold out there, and we have seen that snow in recent days, yeah?
Yeah, and we're going to see at least a few more snow showers today. Not a lot, but a couple of showers here and there. It's not going to be a huge amount, but you can see what's left of a lot of that continues to sink away from us. That's pushing off to the southeast and away. So at least that's a little bit of good news for today. As we look a little closer, you can see a lot of that continues to wind down. There's still a few snow showers are still possible, even with the radar not showing a whole lot at this point. But you get that main idea where a lot that was out there earlier and those bursts of snow that we did see make their way through, they have pretty much tapered off and made their way out of the picture. So today, again, some limited breaks of sun, only just hovering in the 20s for a lot of the day. So overall, just kind of a chilly day for us today. And I think that's going to be the theme going forward, where we see a lot of these highs in the 20s, quite a few lows in the teens over the next week or so. And we're pretty much just stuck there. Average high is up to 34 this time of year, but it's going to be a little while till we see a number even up to that point.
And to that point, Marty, with rock salt, because I want to bring Christian in here.
It has its best effect as you're closer to the freezing point. But as I think I mentioned about a month ago on the air, down to 0, that's where the Fahrenheit scale, how that was established. So that's when water is super saturated with that salt. That's as low as the temperature can go to still keep that water in the liquid form. So technically it works down to 0, but the effectiveness is not as good once you get down to that point.
And it's not really effective when there isn't enough of it to go around either. And we're hearing from municipalities, Christian, who are telling us, hey, take it easy on some stretches of roadway, because if, depending on where you are, we might not have enough.
Yeah, they're blaming this on a sort of long stretch of winter, which I find kind of odd. I mean, we're from Rochester, the Rochester region, upstate New York, hello. But yeah, there's a shortage of rock salt right now, and they're telling people certain areas will be salted heavily, other areas might be limited. So take your time, specifically Ontario County, Farmington, and Canandaigua. And I really want to point out that our own Natalie Calzatoni has been doing a really good rock star job with these stories on the rock salt shortage that we're facing in the area.
And we've heard from American Rock Salt, right? Correct?
In Mount Morris, yeah, correct. They've said a number of things. And look, some people tell us about the town's contract with American Rock Salt. That company's going to have to pay the difference because there's a shipping delay right now. We're a little confused back and forth on when that salt might arrive. And just, some areas might be salted, others might not be. So just take it easy.
Yeah, really important story that we are following. I'm wondering, you worked in the Rochester market for several years before you joined 13 WHAM.
Oh, yeah.
Had you heard of anything like this before? Have you heard of rock salt shortages in the past?
No, and I've heard about these moisture issues as well, that some of the salt has moisture in it and rendering it ineffective, or having to use more, like double the amount in there. So never heard of this before in my time. I'm 43 years old. Maybe someone older might have heard stories about this in the past, but certainly it's the first time I'm hearing about this.
And I want to touch on something that you brought up, which is, this is the Rochester area.
Yeah.
Snow is an expectation. And I would say it's been a busy winter, but not the worst that we've seen, right, Marty?
Right, yeah, we're pretty close to average for our snow. Actually, it's eerily close to the average that we usually see up to this point in the season. But I think a lot of it, as far as the salt usage, it's not so much the snow that you see. Of course, that is a factor, but then once you see wet roads with temperatures near the freezing point, it may be a case where they need to use that salt at a case when they aren't actually seeing active snow playing out too. So that may add into that equation too.
And I don't know. I mean, really, the past 3 winters, we've gotten a little spoiled here. We had some mild winters.
It's fair.
I don't know if there was less salt used, or just they didn't order enough for this year, or whatever it might be, because the last 2 or 3, right, Marty, were great for the cars. I mean, it wasn't bad at all. Now here we are back to reality.
Yeah, absolutely.
Budgeted that amount, so I kind of wonder how many have been able to do that and do have a little bit of extra sitting around here and there.
Some of it away.
Right,
yeah,
for that
absolutely.
rainy day, so to speak.
All right, so back to the forecast at hand. What are we going to see in the coming days?
Well, going into the weekend, there is going to be another system passing by. It's going to be Saturday night into early Sunday. Kind of an area-wide snow that we'll see play out versus these bursts that we've been seeing. And it's going to be probably a few inches of snow that we'll see. Not a huge storm, but just enough to have to deal with, especially getting into Sunday morning. I think that's going to be one of the bigger impacts going to be out of that. So something to look forward to.
Yeah,
Right,
something to look forward
always.
to and something to be mindful of if you're heading to someone's house to watch a certain television event that's happening on Fox Rochester. I don't know. It
here.
might be the big game of sorts.
Yeah. What is Super Bowl?
Super Bowl, I think. Super Bowl
Okay.
59 coming up this Sunday.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Hey, don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we are looking ahead to the real star of this Sunday's big game, the commercials.
We certainly are, and don't forget, you can take us on the go wherever you're headed this morning, even if it's just to the front door, to the bathroom even. We're streaming live right now on the 13 Wham YouTube channel.
Streaming.
Yes, streaming. .09 this morning. Thanks for sticking with us this Friday. While many football fans across the country might be cheering for the Eagles or the Chiefs to win on Sunday, there's always a large group of people watching for another reason, me included, the commercials.
Yeah, brands always go big for the most watched game of the year. And this morning, we're talking about some of the trends we can expect to see on Sunday with the Martin Group's John Gelati. Good morning to you.
How are you? Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So let's dive right in. I have to imagine there are some commercials out there that you've already flagged as like, oh, this one's gonna be great for the company.
Uber Eats is my favorite. McConaughey is great in it. It ties together food and sports and celebrities and some of the history. It's well done. It mentions buffalo and chicken wings, which is great. I thought it was phenomenal, and I think it's a good, delivery on Super Bowl Sunday is such a popular thing, so it makes sense. It's relevant to the audience, so I love that one. That's one's really going to stand out to me. It's going to be a lot of comedy, a lot of nostalgia, a lot of celebrities and influencers, and a lot of AI you're going to see that.
Oh,
as
really?
well on Sunday. Yeah, a lot of Google, Meta, Salesforce, or a couple of the companies advertising their AI capabilities. So it's going to be a lot of AI. Maybe not to the crypto bull levels of 2022, but it's going to be a lot of AI on Sunday.
You mentioned so many good points. One of them, the star factor. You've got celebrities, but my favorite thing about the commercials is how they sort of seem like normal, just like regular people like us. I'm thinking of the Doja Cat commercial with Taco Bell. She's photobombing people. Who doesn't do that? There's so much more. Do you think that that's what really draws people into these commercials?
I think it gets people's attention. Yeah, you see a familiar face that you know. I mean, you look at the Hellman's ads getting a lot of buzz with the When Harry Met Sally, so that's pretty cool. There's so many good pop-ups. William Dafoe, Catherine O'Hara is a great one that's getting some buzz too. I think that's good, right? Here's the Hellman's ad. I think that one is such a nice moment for probably that older demo a little bit When Harry Met Sally, but still, you recognize those faces, and then you see that younger actress in here as well at the end. So I think you got to be relevant, but you also got to stand out, and those celebrities help you do that.
Let me ask, and this might be a little controversial, any out there that you've seen that you're like, ooh, that's a miss?
I didn't love the Doritos, like, when they were analyzing around the conference table one. I didn't think that was great. Maybe it's because all the Chiefs were in it, and we're Bills fans.
Okay,
so hate
that's fair.
Chiefs automatically, but that one I didn't love. No, I think that's really the one that stands out the most. I think comedy is great. I do like it when advertisers kind of try to zig a little bit and try to get a little more serious. There's an anti-Semitism ad that's really good. There's a body positivity ad from Dove that is also really good for young girls and athletes. So I think a couple sprinkled in is good, in addition to all the comedy. And there's some crazy, whimsical, flying mustaches and flying eyebrows and flying tongues that is going to get people's attention probably. So it's a good mix, and you can kind of stand out.
What are they selling?
Flying tongues is Pringles is the flying mustaches. The eyebrows is shoot. I'm forgetting that.
What is this trend though that we're seeing?
Well, I think it's just weirdness, right? Be off the wall and get people talking about, oh my gosh, there was flying tongues. What did that mean? That was for the Coffee Mate, actually, which is that cold foam, which is odd. But again, that's what people talk about. Like, oh my gosh, did you see that crazy ad that totally was different from everything else, right? So being weird and off the wall can benefit you in this case. Obviously, you want to make sure there's a brand message and an actual point to your ad and not just crazy. So I think it's a mix of making sure there's a call to action, but also being a little crazy and doing something that's going to stand out.
When Dan asked his question, I thought you were going to say maybe the Dunkin' ad. I love Ben Affleck. I went to school in Boston, so big fan of his, big fan of Dunkin' in general. But I thought that it was very interesting what they decided to do there.
I love the lead up to it, and a lot of brands are doing this where there's the mystery and the tea. Good job building up to this. It's a little gross with Jeremy Strong pulling out of that big thing there, but I like it. It's okay. I'm a little sick of the Boston accent and advertising, frankly. I think it's a little overdone, but I mean, this is just kind of disgusting. But there's interest, right? There's intrigue. I'm going to want to tune in and see what the actual ad is on Sunday, right? So I think when you're building that suspense and you're kind of teasing it on social, and there's that second screen element of like what's going to happen in this, and the Afflecks are so good. So I will give some credit to that as being something I want to watch on Sunday.
When did they start that? When did that trend of we've got teaser commercials that we put out before the actual commercial?
I feel like it blew up this year, right? But it's been a slow burn over the last couple of years. I feel like people are leveraging the moment. If you're going to spend $7-8 million on just the spot and another couple mil on the production, right? You're going to have to plan this months out. You need to leverage it with landing pages and social and PR and multiple spots leading up to it and afterwards. So you got to get mileage out of it versus just the 30 seconds on Sunday. So it's been the last couple of years that I think brands have recognized that they need to do more around this, and why not tease it and get some buzz going, and there's suspense and mystery, get people guessing as to who's going to be in your ad. Like the Taco Bell one, there's a couple other ones where people are asking, who's going to be in the ad. So I like that. I think it's good. It gets people talking early, and why not capitalize? These 2 weeks are all Super Bowl, right? So
yeah,
you might as well jump on the buzz.
Before we have to wrap up here, I do want to know, in your time in this industry, and maybe just your time, the Super Bowl, is there a commercial that stands out as the one that, kind of rocked your world? The best one there was? You needed that product?
Wow, that's really putting me on the spot there.
Or just memorable.
There's been a lot. Yeah, I know there's been so many good ones. I think, I honestly, I remember, one of the things that stands out is not an ad, but when the Blackout Bowl 10 years ago or so, when the lights went out and Oreo jumped in and said, you can dunk in the dark on social. That to me was a big moment of mainly social being that second screen complement to the ads on TV. Everybody's on their phones or tablets or laptops during a game, but that was the moment when I think every brand was like, I need a war room during the Super Bowl. I need to jump on trends. I need to be jumping right in the moment of the conversation and joining that conversation. So that was kind of a game changer to me of like a brand really being smart and sharp and quick and jumping in. So I think everybody's going to be prepared for those moments. And now today is all about virality and being relevant. And you see some brands like GoDaddy really jumped on that too with some trends that were popular on TikTok and what they're talking about. So you have to be so relevant, and stuff moves so quickly these days that, especially on social during the ads, that to me was a big moment where things have started to be like, okay, I got to be on social in addition to everything else we're doing.
I liked the Budweiser frogs.
Yeah, that's a good one.
They were fun.
And the Clydesdales are coming back this year. That's a big buzz.
Are
ad.
they?
So yeah, that's going to be a really poignant, kind of heartstring tugging ad that you're going to see with a little. There it is. Yeah, this one's getting a lot of buzz. It wasn't supposed to be national. It got so much buzz that they pushed it into from regional to national. So it's going to be on Sunday for everybody. So pretty cool one.
Nice.
It's long, but tells a nice little story, and it'll get you hooked on maybe cracking a bud during the game.
All right. Hey, thank you so much for your time this morning. Really appreciate it.
Thank you guys. Happy birthday.
Thank you again. Thank you.
And hey, speaking of football,
After this.
Well, we are excited. We're just 2 days away from the Super Bowl. And if you don't know anything about sports, fear not, because we are going to make sure you seem like you do.
Yes, we are. This morning, we're going to go over some ways you can decide or deceive your friends and family or coworkers so that the football conversation.
All of that, my friends, you didn't think we wouldn't acknowledge your birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dad. Happy birthday to you and many more.
Thank you so much. That's very kind of all of you. Man, where are we all from?
We're from Rochester Rhapsody.
Come on,
Come
join
on,
us over
come on
here.
over
Yeah,
this
come
way.
on over here.
Come on, face this way so that we're all looking at the camera here. Thank you. That was wonderful. Rochester Rhapsody.
Yes.
And who's responsible for this?
I am.
But this was not your idea.
Not my idea, no.
No, I need to know who the phone call came from.
I think someone named producer Ashley.
Oh, thank you, Ashley. I appreciate it. Thank you all so much. That's very kind of you. Yes, and we're all in my favorite colors, black and white.
Oh, good. Good.
But go on, you were saying before where you're from and...
We're from Rochester, New York, all over Monroe County. We're a women's harmony organization. We sing a cappella music in the 4-part style, and we accept women of all ages to come and join us. We rehearse on Monday nights at 139 Winton Road South, and we perform in the community. We love to sing for our audiences. We are an educational organization, so there's a lot to it.
Yeah.
So can anybody join?
Anybody can join as long as they can sing and hold their parts.
Yes.
There's a little audition process, but it's all good.
And you do several performances throughout.
We do about 20 performances a year all over Monroe County. We have an upcoming performance on the February 16th at Kodak Hall, Eastman Theater, that will do a 90-minute performance. And that is free, so everyone is welcome to attend.
That is cool.
Terrific.
Really
and I'm sure we'll post that information for you on our website, foxrochester.com, after the show.
Yeah, and we have a membership event coming up on February 24th. Come sing away the winter blues.
Yeah.
And, come join us, warm your soul with a cappella music.
There it is on your screen there. So all the information that you need. Thank you all so much. Oh, I wish this could happen every day.
Yeah, this is very nice. I wouldn't mind this kind of surprise, once a week.
Shall we have them sing them out?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know what's happening.
Great. We'll do something real quick. Get our mic set up here.
We'll sing another round of Happy Birthday.
Yeah.
Shirley? Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dan. Happy birthday to you and many more.
That was lovely, ladies. Thank you so much. I'm very filled with joy this morning. Thank you so much. And thank you, Ashley. I'll get you back for this.
Yes. Hey, don't go anywhere. We've got so much more on Arc Rochester here, so make sure you come back.
Are we actually doing this at some point?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. We're back after this.
6 this Friday morning. Thanks so much for sticking with us here on ARC Rochester. I'm Dan Schrapp.
And I'm Stephanie Joseph. We're kicking off our last half hour this morning with the best part of Friday, of course,
The Weekend Buzz. Scott and Sandy in studio with us this morning. Thank you both so much. Waking up, coming in.
Hey, how can we top of that birthday? Oh my God, happy birthday!
I don't know. Thank you very much.
I have a present for you. No, don't think. I have a present for you.
You do?
I do.
Oh, God.
She thinks it's embarrassing, but I think because we.
It's just a little odd. But that's fine. It's a thought that counts. Just remember that.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, we are.
So. I've got this new hobby. It started with my 5-year-old daughter. I found this little kid's version of a 3D printer that I got her. So we're making stuff. It's like STEM kind of thing. And then I'm like, well, Dad needs one too. So I bought a big boy one. So I'm now into 3D printing.
That's cool.
All right.
And
He's
I'm
not
driving.
into. He's obsessed with.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm down the rabbit hole. So I'm driving here. I'm like, I don't have time to stop and get Dan a gift, but I did have this in my bag. And I made this, and I want to give this to you. I think you can use this when you come into work in the morning.
Okay.
You're wondering what that is.
Now you gotta figure out what it is.
Open it up. Oh, keep opening. Keep opening. Yeah. How's that?
That's great. Can I really keep this?
Yeah, that's for when they send you on location. You got to that's a travel hanger.
Yeah.
I've got a vacation
really
coming up very soon.
There you
I
go.
will be taking this with me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if it breaks, just call me. I'll pop out another one.
How long does something like that take to print?
That probably took about 3 hours.
Really?
Wow.
So 3D printing is like making bread. People are like, it takes a long time. I'm like, well, so does making a loaf of bread. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
You set
okay,
it and let
so
it go.
the two things that he's printed for me, and he's so stinking sweet. If you have any requests, he'll absolutely do it for you. But the two things that he printed for me,
That's cool,
broke.
Scott.
I know,
That's
they
cool. That's neat.
and I was like, oh my God, I don't have the heart to tell you. It broke. But anyhow,
You broke it.
It's
It might fall
enough.
apart. You just push it back together.
He's
right in
so
your coat
thoughtful.
pocket.
Okay, so let's add to the gifts. So this apparently is a trending thing. I don't know if it's a new trending or not, but it's called a
Crayon in there.
Yeah, it's a candle, but
She's like, "Prank."
somebody forgot the lighter.
I forgot to stop and
but
get
you remember
one.
the hanger.
Oh, there's one on the way.
on the way.
Oh.
Apparently.
Oh,
I
stand
guess.
by,
Oh,
stand
wow.
by.
So apparently
Who
this
knew?
is like I don't know if it's a trending thing, but it's popular. It's like a cookie, they call it.
Thank you, Mike.
Where it's a croissant and cookie together.
It's called
had
a
it.
Crookie.
A crookie.
Yeah.
A crookie. Yes.
But I don't know how to make croissants. So I did the Pillsbury crescent rolls, and I think it'll taste the same. And oh God, I warmed it up in the microwave. Your microwave here in the building is disgusting. I didn't say that out loud.
Oh, no. Listen, we said it out loud on Monday morning.
Oh, you
'cause
did?
there was-
I
opened it up and I'm
I had a
like,
meltdown.
Speaking of meltdown, the candle is. So
Yeah,
blow it out.
okay.
Happy
Yes.
birthday. No singing.
Ready? Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Thank
Yay.
Yay.
And
Okay,
it
now
is
taste one.
Dan diet approved. So
I'm gonna take
inside
one with
is
the candle.
actual cookie. So it's a
Cookie dough,
Thank you.
like wrapped
with
up
a
in the.
fake croissant wrapped around it.
What do you think?
I'm not mad at
I'm
it.
gonna try this.
I've had a cookie before.
You had a cookie before? They
Back
just
home.
popped up on my algorithm. I'm like, that is genius.
It's great. I'll show you some pictures.
Does it taste good enough?
Yeah.
Try it.
I went to make a croissant yesterday, but it takes like 3 hours.
Sandy, eat one.
Oh, I will.
You should have
It's
put Nutella
fantastic.
in it.
I
That would
wasn't
have
sure what
really.
I
Dan
can't have
can eat.
Nutella.
Oh, okay.
But that's a great idea.
It is.
This is
Yeah.
Dan approved.
Yes.
Maybe peanut butter.
Can you eat peanut butter?
Okay, next
Wasn't
time.
sure if anyone has allergies. Okay.
Well, yeah, that was
so there
that's
you
pretty
go.
good.
Yeah, this
very
is
good.
fantastic.
Happy
You know what?
I'm on board.
This ain't Super Bowl food, but it'll go for. I'm sure you
listen,
got. Yeah.
If you served this at the Super Bowl, nobody's going to be angry with
No,
you.
you're not gonna be mad at it.
I mean, I don't bake either, so
I
you
know,
know
you've
I
been
love
baking
you
a lot for
guys.
this segment. What's up with
I
that?
know,
This
because
is
I love
impressive.
you guys.
You know?
Don't make the pie that she brought us a couple of weeks
Oh,
ago.
the wine
Make
pie?
These. Oh my. Okay, can I tell you that thing sat in the newsroom the entire day?
And then what did it look like? at the end?
Everything sits in the newsroom for an
Well,
entire
it does.
day.
It does. But no one went near that
Nobody
thing.
touched it.
No
It's
one.
because you didn't get that slab of brie to put on top.
That's true.
Right.
I didn't
That's
think
true.
it
Yeah,
tasted
they didn't
that
tell us
bad.
about the brie.
Really?
I didn't think so.
So how about this? Our jerk or justified.
Wait, do we have time to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have.
every day we do a feature around 7:20 called Jerk or Justified.
Chef
where you
Jeff, your
vote.
phone's going off.
Yeah. And was this Cindy? Is this Cindy? Yeah. All right, here's how it came down. Take a listen to this. You guys will be able to hear this.
Okay. So I found this beautiful ring at an estate sale, and I will definitely be using it as my engagement ring.
You are hysterical. But you said you don't even have a boyfriend.
I don't, but when it does happen, I'm going to be like, and I can tell we're getting closer to that time, I'm going to be like, when you want to propose, this is the ring. You don't need to buy it. I have it already.
There's tradition involved, though. How you feel about that?
I don't care.
Now, what if the boyfriend says, no, I want to get you my own?
Well, then he's not the man for me.
Oh, my God, Cindy.
Really?
Can you believe that? She buys her own engagement ring. She found it at vintage estate sales, she said. And this is the ring her boyfriend, whoever he is.
When it happens.
100% justified.
No.
100%. Listen, she's got to be the one who wears it. She found the one she wants, and she's right. If the guy that she wants to give it to her says, oh, no, I want to go spend money on something else, well, then maybe he's not the right fit.
Yeah, I'm not mad at this either. I feel like with engagement ring, it's okay, you can save a little bit of money, but the wedding ring now, I want some thoughts to go.
We did have someone say that go ahead and do that, but the wedding ring itself that fits the vintage look is the thing that should be from the husband.
The engagement ring is the bigger, more wow ring.
Yeah.
The wedding band is like, oh, it's the wedding band.
Yeah.
Okay, so I thought justified too, because hey, whatever. I mean, I think personally that was such a beautiful, touching thing to see that my husband went out of his comfort zone and did research on a ring. Like, I think she's robbing herself of that. But the majority of people who called in said it was jerk.
I believe it's jerk.
Really?
I believe it's jerk.
They said it was a marriage hostage situation.
Well, it's like listen, symbolism, right? It's
Hang
one
on,
thing.
I'm going to put you on pause. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back to
continue
and round out your thought.
Okay.
9:37, we're back now with more from our friends Scott and Sandy. We're talking about the weekend buzz. Jerk or justified buying your own engagement ring?
Without a boyfriend or, fiance, yes. Yes, just solo. Just in case, and if it ever happens, in case of emergency, break glass, don't worry about it, I got this.
And we bring it up because a listener did, Cindy, call in and say, yeah, that's what she did. And she was proud of it.
Yeah, I still think it's a jerk when left. And when I proposed to Jill, my wife, that was one of the most, it's hard to describe the anxiety and the pleasure and the decision making and the lead up, the secrecy, all of that came to conclusion of, will you marry me? Which, by the way, was in the photo booth at the George Eastman house.
Oh, but still,
On the
the
fourth
lead up
photo.
is still there.
Yeah.
It's just the ring.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, hey, Cindy, throw it over here. Here you go.
Well, wait. Okay, so you're married. Do you think it's jerk if you want to elope and you want a small little ceremony? You want to go to the justice of the peace?
No.
Well, that's tradition. You're going against tradition.
Yeah, you're going against tradition.
How many
there.
traditions are left? That's the thing. I think it's
No, I don't.
From a guy's point of view.
I think it's what tradition you hold sacred.
True. Very true. Could be.
Ooh, I'm throwing down the truth
Listen,
here.
how many people got married, spent a ton of money to have this princess bride marriage, and then afterwards going, man, we should have bought a house.
Yeah,
we could have bought a house.
Well, what's your
You would save the money with the engagement ring. Like, just
True.
taking
Very
certain
true.
steps.
You would have saved money.
Non-negotiable for tradition.
You have to ask permission from my family, but also I want to be proposed to. I know a lot of women do it nowadays, but I want to be proposed.
That's a great tradition.
Yeah.
And it's reciprocal. My wife's father, for her hand in marriage, that was the most difficult thing I've ever done, ever.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It's hard.
And he was great.
Did he say yes?
I brought him a bottle of booze because it was his birthday.
Got him drunk first.
No, we didn't open
Well
it.
played, my friend.
I'm
Well
like, here,
played.
can I marry your daughter?
Yeah, might have slipped something in the drink too, just to make sure you were getting. You want to get eloped or just as truly courthouse marriage? That's fine. Let's have a party after.
Yeah.
That's because that's.
You have to bring your friends and your family in on it.
That's
This is
where
our
the memories actually are.
Very true. Very true.
You don't really the church thing. Boring. Okay.
Yeah.
And listen, I get invited to weddings just to dance.
Do you?
Really?
Yeah, please.
Life of the party
You've
dance.
never seen me cut a rug.
People you don't even really know just invite you just to
No,
be the
those ones are weddings that I crash.
Oh, okay. Yes.
All right, well, the verdict has been overturned because you
Yes.
guys have that power.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is
what
now
we like to say.
justified.
Boom.
Absolutely.
It's your birthday.
It's my birthday.
Yeah.
We win.
Yep, you do.
Thank you both
Happy
so much
birthday.
for coming in this
Thanks.
morning. We
Thank
really
you for
appreciate it. And
having
Sandy,
us.
congratulations on those. Delicious.
They were great.
Post the give the recipe to your viewers.
Yep.
And Scott,
Yes.
you think I'm
This
kidding
was
when I tell you that I like this. I think this is
We have
one of the
a hook
coolest
at
things
our
I've
desk.
ever received.
And it's
We have
one of a
a hook.
kind. I
Yes.
printed it for you.
I greatly appreciate it. At first, I thought it was going to be some sort of weapon because you unfold it. And I'm thinking to
Something for his
myself, probably
coffee
not
mug?
supposed to happen. Maybe because I live in the city. I don't
Could
know,
be.
but no.
Well, you could use it as a weapon. You'd be like, wow.
Yeah,
and just be like,
absolutely.
stay away from it.
They might be like this, and that'll buy you some time.
Right.
Yes.
I always
Is
say,
that a coat hanger?
Stay away from my car.
Hey, stick around. When we come back, we're breaking down the most important thing you need this Sunday. What are we talking about, Steph?
The Super Bowl food.
Yes, we are. More after this. 9:44, we are counting down to the Super Bowl, and if you haven't gotten your party plans locked in just yet, well, don't worry, because we have got you covered.
Yes, now for all of your snack and food ideas for the upcoming Super Bowl get-together, we got Wegmans Executive Chef Jeff here with us this morning with some ideas. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Look at this spread.
Yes. So we did a survey for all of our upstate New York folks. We found 70% of them want to watch the game.
Yeah.
27% want to watch it for everything.
Okay.
13% just for the commercials, and 12% just for the game. So there's, but the one thing that everybody wants
is the food.
Is the food,
So
right?
Absolutely.
Yep. So beyond, we have our pizzas, right? We have our $10 cheese promotion going on right now. We just started our signature sheet pizzas too, so you can order those through our app or in the store.
Nice.
We also have our sub trays, right? Great to share. And then at the store we have Valen Bowl going on, right? So right around the corner we have Valentine's Day.
Yes.
So we have our chocolate covered strawberries. We made some to look like little footballs too,
In the
so that's
football
fun.
shape too.
Yep. We just started our new Amore antipasto trays. I have that up front over here. And then we have a premium veg tray, sushi, coconut shrimp, and then we have the chips and dip.
Hearts in that tray?
There are, yes.
Dan sold already. For anybody who wants to place an order, is it too late for them now?
It is not. No, we have plenty of slots available. The one thing I will say, especially for pizza and subs, is just make sure to try to plan ahead. So we will have some impulse buys, right? If you need to come into the store and grab some last minute things,
Yeah.
we'll have the sushi family packs available and the veggie trays. But yeah. Planning ahead is probably the best course of action because I don't want anybody to lose out on any game time food. So.
Absolutely. What kind of gold pan dishes do you have?
These are, so last time I brought our buffalo chicken dip. That's a great option available as well.
You just grab them, throw them in the oven, and
right.
you're good to go.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're feeding
No cleanup.
everybody who shows up.
Yep.
Yeah, and I see we've got some colors here for the teams. Is there some customization that people could do?
Those are pretty set in stone. I mean, there's no red, white, and blue for the Bills,
Right.
but we have our KC and our Philly
At
fans.
some point, there's gonna be.
There will be.
At some point, there will be. What do we have down on the end? What are those things?
These
Yes.
tumblers.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they're
And they're
football.
Yeah. So they're a little fun. Yep.
Got
They
it.
have some over here too. They look like a football field, so they're green, right in between there. So.
And of course, we have
The drink
every kind of
options.
beverage you want.
Right. So one of the things that's trending right now is NA beverages. So we have a few of our NA beers, and then we have our NA spirits with some of the mixers that we have in the store as well too. So a great opportunity to celebrate any way you want. So.
That's awesome. And keep that camera panning down. Keep camera 2 panning down because there
We're
is
looking
something
at-
chocolate and delicious right here. And I need to know what that is.
Well, Dan, I know you haven't had enough birthday treats yet, so
Yeah.
that's especially for you. That's our vegan Belgian chocolate cake
Is it seriously?
that we have available in our bakery. So we want to bring that and celebrate you and say happy
Thank
birthday.
you very much.
You're very
I will
welcome.
be diving in momentarily.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. This is, I mean, Wegmans knows how to do it when it comes to party planning. And I want to go back to, if we can quickly, ordering things online. Because
Correct.
you can get it done
Yep.
easy and you show up and it's ready to go.
Yep, you can do it on your phone. We have our app. You can go to our Wegmans.com website. There's a link right there. You can go to mealstogo.com, or you can stop in if you're grocery shopping and see one of our catering folks.
What is your go-to football food?
Pizza and wings for sure.
Okay, but
I like a lot of the gold pan coconut shrimp's great, and then sushi for sure.
Steph?
Oh, I have to say pizza.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I'm a pizza person, but I'll tell you what, the ciabatta bread you guys have for your
For the
subs.
subs.
Oh my gosh, that stuff is so good. You guys know what you're doing over there at Wegmans. It's a
Well-oiled
touchdown
machine, yeah.
every time.
That's good.
That's what
Yes.
honestly, that's what it is. That's what it is. Chef Jeff, thank you so much for
My
your
pleasure.
time this morning.
Thank you
Really
so much.
appreciate it. The spread and the cake.
Just take a look.
Thoroughly enjoy that. We will post all of the information and links so you can go online and put your orders in right there on our website, foxrochester.com, after the show.
Don't go anywhere because when we come back, it's our final thoughts.
Arc Rochester is back right after this. It's time for our final thoughts here on Arc Rochester this Friday. But we do want to talk about something because, listen, it's just such a good idea to know when you know nothing. So we're talking about the Super Bowl. Have you ever been to a Super Bowl party or watched any sport and you see the people you're with cheer or get upset or start yelling or walking over to the TV and yelling at the ref as if they can actually hear you and you have no idea what they're talking about? Well, fear not, because we have got you covered. We have got a list here of phrases that you can say to make yourself sound intelligent while watching, sitting around with friends, getting ready for the show, the game, the show.
Off to a rough start, but it's okay. We'll get you back on track. So one of the things that you can say, all right, so you got to have the, the serious team, whatever you're rooting for, can protect their quarterback. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can they protect their quarterback?
The key to the game is going to be whether or not the Eagles can protect their quarterback. Come on, guys.
I mean, basic.
And then you spit, right?
Okay. It'll be interesting to see how Patrick Mahomes handles the pressure. He's been clutch all season.
Ooh, that's good. That's good. So during the game, there are some phrases you can use. When there's a big play, you say, that was blown coverage by the defense.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, though, it's hit or miss with some of these because you don't know who you're rooting for. So,
End of it.
yeah, you won't.
Okay, so another one, the field goals are easy. I know it's not called the Big H, but you guys who are like me, you know what I mean out there. Yeah, so you say smart call, take the points when you can.
Ooh, yes, yes. Or that's the perfect example of stretch in the field.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like you know what you're talking about here. So offensive strategy. See, here's where I'm getting a little, what's the offensive strat? I don't know.
I couldn't tell you.
I'm just going to take this with me and just start shouting them at the bar. They're really pounding the ball to the ground.
Yeah.
That's when a team focuses on running the ball.
This next one, I think I understand. They're going no huddle to keep the defense on their heels.
Yeah, they are. They want to keep that secret. Yes. So your defensive strategy, that's a textbook blitz right there.
That will go over well.
That will.
Yeah.
That was Academy Award worthy. What else do we have?
Okay, we've got defensive strategy.
Okay.
Okay. The defense is bending but not breaking. That one makes sense. We
Darn
use that a
right
lot.
they are.
Yeah.
What a catch. That's elite running. That's after the receiver makes a tough catch.
All right. And
How much time do we have, Ashley?
2 minutes. All right. Okay.
Plenty.
Do we want to skip to halftime analysis?
No, keep going.
All right. So play-by-play, that was a clinic in clock management.
Ooh.
So that you use that when a team uses the clock effectively at the end.
Clinic in clock management, and I like the alliteration that gives you there. Makes it fun to say. He ran through the gap in the defense, people. That's how they got the ball back. It sounds like I know what I'm saying.
Textbook.
Wow. All right, halftime analysis.
Okay, the offensive line really needs to step up and protect the quarterback. That one's coming back. If you keep using it, they'll be like, oh, they know how to use it.
Halftime, aren't we watching the halftime show?
I would be.
So wouldn't I say Kendrick Lamar dropped some sick beats up there tonight?
Yes.
Man, we want to watch the game.
That's okay. Okay.
Maybe we're in the end of the second quarter.
Yeah. The second half is going to come down to who controls the clock.
And it
Ain't
will.
that the truth?
Yeah. Okay.
It typically does, too.
Let's go to some Super Bowl vibes,
Okay.
So this is exactly the type of game you expect in the Super Bowl. Your team's doing well, tight, high energy, physical. That's how the game should go.
Ooh. I liked it. It's crazy how much nerves can affect players early on. So that's for your younger player who's just on the team. It's their first Super Bowl. I don't know.
Or you could just watch the Puppy Bowl.
Oh, yes. Or you could watch the Puppy Bowl. That's far earlier. Perfect for the kids. And Team Rough this year.
Team Rough?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Rough
Team
versus
Halftime.
Scruff. Hey, that does it for us here on Arc Rochester. Make sure to wake up with us again Monday morning starting at 4:57 over on the other channel. What is it?
13 Wham ABC. And we also have more live local news coming up later. 13 WHAM News at midday. Happy birthday to Dan.
Thank you very much. Have a great weekend.